that was the bouncing ball that started off 35 years ago. Hello, I'm Trevor Dickinson. I'm the founder of Aon Technology, and I am an Amiga enthusiast. As I wrote recently in an article for Amiga Future magazine, with all the turmoil and disruption that's happening in the world today, sometimes it's difficult to have a positive outlook for the future of the human race. Aldous Huxley, the author of Brave New World, wrote, "I want to know what passion is. I want to feel something strongly." Passion is something that we Amigans have in abundance, as we try to find new and exciting ways to keep our machine alive and relevant at the dawn of the fourth industrial revolution. Okay, that does sound a bit pompous, but Huxley also wrote, "The secret of genius is to carry the spirit of the child into old age," which means never losing your enthusiasm. If you're still an active Amigan, you'll know and understand exactly what that means. And so, while 2020 marks the 35th anniversary of the Amiga's birth, unfortunately, most of the shows planned this year have been cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Way back in January, what seems a lifetime ago now, I was fortunate enough to attend Amiga Island 2020 at what turned out to be the only major Amiga 35 celebration this year so far. The Amiga 35 events planned for the USA, the Netherlands and the UK were all cancelled due to COVID-19. Fortunately, Brian Deneen and the SAC team have decided to press ahead with Amiwest as usual, although for most international speakers and visitors who are planning to attend, it will have to be an online virtual show. I've attended every Amiwest show in person since I visited in 2010 to present the first public demonstration of the Amiga 1 X1000 prototype in North America. It's hard to believe that 10 years has flown by so fast. So it gives me great pleasure to present at Amiwest 2020 and for Aon Technology to once again be the gold sponsor for the show. Due to New Zealand travel and quarantine restrictions, I can only give a virtual presentation this year and will miss out on the traditional AAA fun, which is such a major part of all Amiwest events. COVID-19 has certainly slowed the A1222 Plus release, but I'm pleased to report significant progress in the past few months, despite the worldwide disruption caused by the pandemic. The new motherboard has been renamed A1222 Plus and the Tabor name has been dropped. I'm really pleased to announce that Aon is collaborating with Enrico Vidali of Acube for the production of the updated A1222 Plus version 1.3 prototype boards. Once the prototypes have passed all of our performance and quality checks, the early adopter boards will be manufactured. The U-boot firmware for the A1222 Plus has also been updated to the same standard as the X5020 and X5040, leading to faster boot times and improved USB performance. With the U-boot variable set to optimum, the time to boot to Workbench is now a respectable 30 seconds from initial power-up. And in even better news, a new audio driver has been completed by Lyle Hazelwood, so finally the A1222 has found her voice. And lastly, a new Amiga OS 4.1 ISO has been produced by Tony Wyatt on behalf of Hyperion Entertainment. I'm pleased to announce that the Exec SG team, led by Stephen Sawley, is also making good progress. There are now 16 people in the team, including Stephen and myself. However, we've also enlisted the services of other key developers like Mark Olson, who helped with the U-boot improvement work. Exec XG can now be cleanly built and supported on all Amiga OS target platforms. That includes legacy Cyberstorm PowerPC and Blizzard PowerPC boards from Phase 5, the original Amiga 1 systems produced by iTech, as well as the Pegasus 2 from Genesi, and of course the SAM models from Acube and the Aon Amiga 1 models, the X1000, the X5020, the X5040 and the A1222. Multi-core support has also progressed with the development of a new locking mechanism for all the cores which respect the interrupts and multitasking systems currently in place. There have been many bug fixes, 24 in total, covering several components including loader, Amiga boot, exec library and I2C resource. Faster memory allocation, fixed low memory handling and memory pool fixes and many others. U-boot has also been updated for the X5020, X5040 as well as the A1222, and again with faster boot times and improved USB compatibility. Fortunately, COVID-19 has not slowed the development of the enhancer software package. Our developers have been hard at work and regular updates have been supplied to the AON beta test team, who have been busy testing the latest release candidates. There have been 8 major packet updates this year alone, and 35 since the project started. I would expect a few more before the software is finally released. The latest versions include Warp 3D Nova, updated to version 1.77 by Hans de Ruyter, and OpenGL ES2, updated to version 3 by Daniel Musner. The package includes the latest Radeon HD and RX graphics drivers, which support the powerful 3D and shaders developed by Warp 3D Nova and OpenGL ES2, and support a selected range of Radeon HD SI and Radeon RX graphics cards. The video acceleration library is another exciting feature, enabling Amiga OS 4 to play 4K videos. In actual practice, at the moment, it's slightly less than 4K due to an underlying minor limitation of OS 4. However, this is being worked on. Apart from numerous bug fixes and other enhancements, a selection of new and upgraded gadget tools is included. The gadget tools are also included in the freely available Enhancer Software Core package, which has been updated to version 1.1. The full Enhancer Software 2 package is expected to be released this Christmas. The power of Warp 3 Nova and the OpenGL ES2 combination is demonstrated by excellent third-party software like ShaderJoy. ShaderJoy is a tool that can visualize GLSL-based fragment shaders. It's been developed by Capehill, who's aimed to have some compatibility and access to the massive ShaderToy database. It really stretches and demonstrates the power of Warp 3D Nova and OpenGL ES2, and helps our developers track down and fix those annoying little bugs. ShaderJoy can also be used to create some awesome shader-based demos and animations. Games and graphics guru Daniel Musner stated on Amigans.net that ShaderJoy is really becoming a killer app, and it certainly is the best offline ShaderToy viewer among all systems already. I can't say better than that, Daniel. It's been a while coming, but we've finally produced a mostly native PowerPC version of ImageFX 4.5 Studio. We commissioned Andy Broad, the talented developer who created updated classic and PowerPC versions of Aeon's Personal Paint graphics package. Using some of the new gadgets in Enhancer software, he has now worked his magic on Aeon's ImageFX. Apart from some legacy 68K assembly code, the whole package has been recompiled for PowerPC. It is now available in both classic 68K and PowerPC versions. As I've already mentioned, way back at Amiwest 2010, I presented the first public display of the Amiga 1 X1000 in North America, running a very dodgy beta version of Amiga OS 4.1. At the show, I was interviewed by Zach Weddington for his new Viva Amiga documentary film. It would take another 7 years before the film was officially released, by which time it would also contain footage of the Amiga 30th anniversary event at the Computer History Museum in Mountain View, California in 2015. A pre-release of the movie was premiered at the Amiga 30th Saturday Night Banquet, and I sat at a table with many of the original High Toro founders and staff, and there was barely a dry eye at the table as the movie played. One criticism frequently leveled at the film, apart from the length of time it took to release that is, was that just over an hour long, it was too short.
This ragtag team taking on IBM and Apple, and we've changed the world. We were from the future. This was it.
The wild-eyed, the excited, the crazed, gotta create inventive things, gotta do fun stuff.
It just completely changed everything. Amiga users make Mac.
Last year, I commissioned Zach to produce an extended version of the film to celebrate the Amiga's 35th birthday. At 2 hours long, the new version includes a lot more interviews and stories from key Amiga developers and other Amiga luminaries and enthusiasts. It was my plan to offer the movie for screening at various Amiga 35 events this year, but unfortunately it was not to be. Not all is lost, however. There's always next year or the year after that, an Amiga 35 plus 1 or plus 2. Who knows these days? Many of you will know David Pleasance, the former Joint Managing Director of Commodore UK. You've probably even read his book, Commodore, The Inside Story, about his time at Commodore and the events leading up to his failed attempt to buy the Amiga assets and his life after Commodore. If you've read the book, you will know I had the privilege of writing the foreword. So when David mentioned his idea of launching a Kickstarter campaign to write a second book chronicling the Amiga's post-Commodore years, I just had to be involved. David is the first to admit that after his failed attempt to acquire the Amiga assets, he departed from the Amiga scene and embarked on a very colourful life that did not involve computers in any shape or form. David, being a marketing man, had already come up with a catchy title for the book, From Vultures to Vampires. However, after leaving Commodore, David departed from the computer business altogether and only re-engaged with the Amiga scene after appearing as a guest speaker at the Amiga 30th event in Amsterdam. If you know me, you will know I have a passionate hobby, one might say obsession. I've been researching and writing about the Amiga for over 20 years. My first published articles began with the Amiga Retrospective series, which started as a review of all the Amiga models released by Commodore, but morphed into the story chronicling the rise and fall of Commodore and the fate of the Amiga in the post-Commodore years. This was followed by my Classic Reflections series, which took an in-depth look at the companies and individuals who made a valuable contribution to the Amiga's success, and what happened to them after the demise of Commodore. I've also written several special reports and other Amiga-related articles. Having written so much about the Amiga and the companies and individuals who contributed to its success, I wanted to ensure that the full story was told, and I'm pleased to say these articles will underpin the foundation of the new book. Most people expected the Amiga to wither and die after the fall of Commodore and the subsequent failed attempts to revive its fortunes. However, in 2020, 26 years after the demise of Commodore, the Amiga scene is alive and vibrant, albeit a lot smaller, in all its glorious forms and flavours, and this is what I want to help celebrate in our new book. We've reached out to over 80 key individuals about making a contribution to the book, and I'm pleased to say that almost everyone has agreed to help. Their voice will add more colour to the book's narrative, which should bring the story to life. As with David's first book, all contributions, both positive or negative, will be included without any editing whatsoever, except for grammar and spelling. We want to make sure the book celebrates and pays homage to the key people who have and are helping to shape the post-Commodore Amiga years. Although my plan to offer Amiga 35 screenings of Viva Amiga Extended Remix did not work out, I was able to offer David the option of supplying the extended version free of charge as a stretch goal to all the backers of his Kickstarter campaign. His campaign smashed the stretch goals, raising £42,813 from 1,005 backers. As the video is very large, 5.83 gigabytes for the 1080p MP4 version, David has chosen to deliver it through the Vimeo platform. You can select the standard 1080p version or choose the smaller but lower quality HD or SD version. If you did not back the Kickstarter campaign and want to watch the movie, don't worry. Vimeo has an added benefit, and you can still rent or buy the extended remix movie. All of the sales will be going to David to help cover the cost of the streaming and other expenses. All that remains to be said is happy 35th birthday, Amiga. Oh, and I bet you thought you wouldn't see my tie this year. And one more thing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Amiga. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Amiga. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Amiga. Happy birthday to you.